Hello, hi everyone. Thanks for joining this event. It's basically the event where we will go through the Reef Q1 recap. It's an event with which we are marking the launch of the testnet of Reef chain, as well as some other exciting stuff. We prepared a presentation, so we can go through it briefly, and then we'll take some questions. As you guys know, you can ask a question directly in Crowdcast. So I'll take the questions at the end. We've also improved the microphone and the camera, so hopefully it's a bit better than before. It's obviously, we are trying to improve on every aspect all the time. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen here, and this presentation is basically split into two things. The first is the ecosystem updates, and the second is the technology updates. And the reason why we chose to go with the ecosystem updates first is just so you guys know that, as I kept mentioning, the community is our #1 priority. So what happened in the past quarter? It's been by far the most exciting 3 months of my life. So many things happened. So much growth. The project has seen incredible growth, a lot of AMAs and so on. But here I just lined up the few milestones that we achieved. We are basically, we have the biggest community out of all the Polkadot projects, obviously beyond Polkadot itself, and it's not just in Polkadot, and it's beyond Polkadot as well. Next is trending on CMC. We've been the most trending project for a few weeks now. I think no other projects has achieved this consistency of staying on top of CMC for a long time. We have over 35,000 Telegram members, over 90,000 Twitter followers. In basically a bit more than 3 months, we've achieved almost 6 figures Twitter followers. As I mentioned, the community being the most important aspect of the project. We did a lot of contests. We did over 10. We did song competitions. We did sticker contests, pun contests, meme contests, and so on. All of those events are meant to basically unite the community, ignite discussion in our group, people talking about the project, people building stuff with different talents, non-tech talents, and so on. We've opened over 13 now international groups on Telegram, so people can discuss in different languages. We did countless AMAs and a bunch of conference attendances. As you know now, with the COVID situation, we can't do a lot of in-person conferences, and we did one in-person conference in Dubai, which was super successful as well. So what I marked here as purple are the things that we are planning to expand on when it comes to those things. So as you've probably seen, we started with some small educational videos. We are planning to fully expand this into a DeFi Academy. So new users can learn, what is DeFi, how can they get into it. So they're able to dive deeper into what DeFi means and how can they participate. Next is the expansion plan. So as you guys know, we are launching the testnet today, and with the testnet, we are coming up with 5 new things that we'll be doing. So our main focus, as I kept saying, is investing in people and teams. It's not just tech. The tech is definitely important, but supporting projects and increasing engagement with our community is our #1 priority. So we are launching a program which we call Reef Aquarium. It's basically similar to an incubation program. It's a program for bootstrapping new projects, building on top of Reef chain. So we would be helping them with not just with development, but with marketing as well. So our community can get to know the new exciting projects that they're building on top of Reef before they even go live. Next, obviously, it's bounty programs, and this is super exciting because we've open sourced our code base, so people already started opening pull requests. So they can submit bug fixes as well as improvements. People with different skill set, they can even improve the copy. Some guy found a typo somewhere in the documentation and so on. The third exciting thing is workshops. So we want to teach people how to write Solidity code, how to deploy their own Hello World, basically code base. And this way, we're able to attract completely new developers who have not done blockchain development before. So through these workshops, this is basically the goal. And then, you know, after the workshops, people can get into the Reef aquarium. They can have their own ideas that get incubated and deployed on top of Reef. The fourth one is meetups. It's a bit different than workshops because the goal is to expand the current development community. So this is meetups where we can discuss about you know, the governance mechanisms. We can discuss about validators. We can discuss some more technical aspects of the Reef chain. And the last one, which is extremely exciting, it's grants and a Shark Tank-like show. So what happens with grants is, you know, grants are boring nowadays. You need to submit those forms, and you know, people have to go through it. It's very formal, and we want to make it fun. We want to involve the community in giving grants to other projects, so they have a vote which project gets basically seeded, and make giving grants way more entertaining and way more engaging. So these are some of the things around the ecosystem plan. Now the exciting stuff, the technology updates. As you guys noticed, for the past 2 weeks, I have not been that active on Telegram. I've been focused on the development side. We've a lot of users and asked if we are on track. I said we are, and we finished a lot of things this quarter. It's been a grind, but it's been really exciting, especially when one knows that that things are actually done properly. So there are 4 main things. The first one is the Reef chain. We called it Maldives. The testnet is live. We have the live block explorer, and we have the documentation, which is already out there. Second is the baskets. This is something extremely exciting that we've been working on for some time. The third one, the new landing page. I believe it's live out there. I couldn't wait to share this with everyone. It's basically, you know, we worked with the best in the world to achieve this landing page. And the fourth one is around the open sourcing and some details around it. So I want to talk about the Reef chain. As I mentioned, we released the documentation. It's out there. Why we decided to build Reef chain? If you remember, like before, in the last quarter of 2020, we were thinking if we should become a parachain or not. And the important decision for us was, if we become chain, we don't want to be an empty chain. Like, we want to make sure that we bring real innovation, but also have balance between innovation and adoption. I will talk a little bit about this later. So Reef chain, first and foremost, it has Solidity support, which is extremely important because projects can port their DeFi applications from Ethereum to Reef without having to modify their code at all. Second is the scalability. We have a higher transaction throughput, but it's not just about being scalable. So those vanity metrics, such as transaction per second, they're important, but this is not our main goal. Our main goal is adoption. And the third is upgradability. As we know, upgradability has been a pretty big issue with chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum due to its governance mechanisms. So Reef chain is a substrate-based chain. So we are basically, you know, the chain is self-upgradable. I can talk about the details. We can talk on meetups and workshops as well. The fourth is the EVM extensions. This is basically a way to bring completely new innovation into the EVM. So basically, you know, certain things that cannot be done on Ethereum, such as some very hard processing, iterating big lists, and so on. And for example, like scheduling calls such as cron jobs. This is extremely hard to do on Ethereum, and it costs a lot of gas. Through the EVM extensions, we are able to implement certain things natively in Rust, which are extremely fast, and then expose those things back to the EVM. The fifth thing, something that I guess the users are the most excited about, is the native Reef staking. So basically, you can participate in the validation. You can earn rewards for your staked Reef tokens directly on chain. So basically, you won't just stake and do nothing. You can basically participate into important decision making processes by staking on-chain. And the sixth one, obviously, Reef being a cross-chain project, our main focus is bringing liquidity from other ecosystems, as well as providing liquidity to other ecosystems. This bridge is extremely important because this is, and we plan, it's basically a program around it, so that other projects that are already good at certain things on other chains can easily port a portion of their project on Reef. So then I would like to talk, again, this is part of Reef chain. I'd like to talk a little bit about how important for us it is to achieve decentralization and still stay scalable. And achieve decentralization isn't just some word. It's actually a process, and we've seen a lot of projects out there that have struggled to do this. So to explain why on-chain governance is extremely important, I would like to start from like the existing ecosystems such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you know how people say that in this landscape 1 month is 1 year because things happen super fast. There are so many new things happening every day. Well, when it comes to innovation on the biggest chains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is not the case. So those chains, as we all know, are operated, by proof of work miners. And the issue with this is that the incentives obviously are to extract, as much value as possible through rewards and fees, and successfully, basically, navigating the highly competitive mining landscape. This is the issue. Why historically those chains are they stagnate. So they don't have new features. Like we haven't heard of any new features for years now. They have resistance to scalability solutions. And why? Because non-scalable means more money for the miners. So that's the issue. Like into the core incentives, you have basically the mechanism. The mechanics are wrong, and that's why those chains suffer from anti-scaling properties. This is with Reef. As I mentioned, it's substrate based. The important thing here is that we can upgrade, we can bring the new innovation on chain through our governance process in a seamless manner. If you remember how hard what was it for Bitcoin to change a simple variable to basically increase the block size, it took months, and they used external mechanics such as signaling certain bits in the blocks. It was crazy, and at the end of the day, the fork happened, and the ecosystems, teared apart, and it was just not the way to do it. So Reef chain has built in on-chain governance, which makes the validators align with the network growth. The important thing about Reef chain is that the fees for deploying smart contracts as well as using smart contracts are burned. This is an extremely important tokenomics aspect, and it incentivizes basically validators to stake long term into the ecosystem. The fourth one, this is something that I think it's unique for Reef because we've seen other ecosystems don't really practice this. We all know that you have certain financial primitives that are extremely profitable, such as auto market makers, IDO platforms, and so on. And other ecosystems, they want to build the ecosystem and own the financial primitives. This is not the case with Reef. Reef is focused to onboard projects which are already good at those things and deploy on our chain, so that they are still profitable. They can still onboard their users into their new version like faster and a more complex version. So this is our focus: bring the biggest projects to deploy and still be what they're best at. They can basically become even better on Reef. Obviously, to learn more about our governance, basically Reef has two different governance mechanisms. We plan to have in-depth series about this: how to become a validator, how to become a nominator, what it means, what is proof of commitment, and so on, and how all these blocks fit together. Next is focus on adoption. So I've been always taking a parallel from the traditional tech landscape, where you have, similar to the blockchain landscape, you have new technologies coming up, every few months. The issue with this is that you have ecosystems that are developed, such as Solidity. So backwards compatibility for us was the #1 goal, because people have spent countless hours. The open source community is by far the biggest, so we had to support this. This doesn't mean that we cannot extend basically beyond Solidity, because we are a substrate chain, so we are able to expand the EVM with native modules. So we can add like scheduling, which we can even add native oracles, we can add native bindings, we can do complex processing on chain, and so on. The third one is the interoperability. As you all know, Reef is a cross-chain project, so we are able now to deploy liquidity bridges with different ecosystems such as Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Avalanche, and much more. So we're not about just competing with these ecosystems. That's not our goal. Our goal is to unite those ecosystems together, as well as provide a platform for existing projects to deploy directly and natively on Reef. To achieve that, it comes basically, you have the fourth point, which is the multi-chain incentive programs for existing projects. And what's important here to understand is, if you take a look at who brings innovation on Ethereum, projects such as Aave and Maker and so on, they do not really own the network. So the miners own the network. And what happens due to the incentives, their users are hurt, because obviously the gas fees are high and some of their users cannot participate in DeFi for obvious reasons. The gas fees are through the roof. So here we have multi-chain incentive programs where existing projects can come, and eventually they can become validators. So they don't just bring innovation and user base to our network, but they own the network. So when 10 reputable projects own the network, that's when real decentralization is achieved. At least 10. Like this can go up to 100 maybe over time. So that's basically our main goal with Reef Chain. We are focused to achieve a balance between innovation and adoption. We don't want to be an empty chain. We want to make sure that whatever people build out there can still work, but it's important for us that we can extend and amplify all these features with native modules, and obviously plug into the Polkadot as well as the Kusama networks. With Reef Chain, as everyone expects, you have a block explorer. The block explorer, the initial version of the block explorer is live. It's at reefscan.com. You can check it out. Basically, it's the very first version. And what's important here, as I mentioned, with the purple ones, are the features that are coming. I want the block explorer to not sound scary. Like currently, when people mention block explorer, it screams technical barrier. It's like, oh, I don't know how to see. I don't want to see those hexadecimal points. I don't want to see gas fees. It's scary. It looks like a bureaucracy. So our focus with the block explorer is to focus on usability and hide all of those tech complexities, so it feels like home. On top of that, we want to we will be adding custom UI for different protocols. So it's not like it's not like Etherscan, where most of the things are generic. Here, as you open, let's say, protocols like Aave, you can see the NFTs directly into the block explorer. Completely custom UI. And on top, obviously, this is not scalable. We can't build UI for every projects. We will have extendable block explorer, where other projects can embed their own widgets. So they're taking certain parameters from our website, and then they render certain widgets that they feel that they should present to their users. Besides the block explorer, we have the documentation. The initial version is live here. I will go through all of those things after the presentation. And obviously, documentation is an ongoing process. Like you're always extending it, you're always improving it. But we want to add something called Reef Playground for completely new developers. So it's an interactive way to learn how to basically program in Solidity, how to interact with the blockchain, and so on. I think this idea is taken from Apple. They really have a very smooth way to onboard completely new developers into their ecosystem. Next, we have the Reef baskets. The Reef baskets are live. The deployment is live on Ethereum. We have the basic DeFi basket. So you can basically provide liquidity on Uniswap, Mooniswap, and Balancer. Plus, you can get exposure to other ERC20 tokens. This is the first basket, and we have many more baskets coming. Just to note here, the programmatic limits, as I've been saying, are active. So it's a very first version. It's in beta. So please use it at your own risk. The next thing is, obviously, since it's on Ethereum, the gas fees are still high because the pooling mechanism is not there yet. So if you are willing to pay the gas fees on Ethereum right now, feel free to test it out. What's coming, as I mentioned, is more basket types. NFT is the most exciting thing, and probably the first project deploying on top of Reef will be NFT project. And I can't stress this enough. The NFT landscape is great. It's very early, but the volume is not there yet. And the project that we are working with, they work with Steam, which is the biggest, gaming ecosystem for desktop. They have games such as Counter-Strike and Dota and so on. So this is by far the biggest NFT marketplace right now, and it's fully centralized. It's owned by Steam. But what this project does, I can't reveal the name right now. They are connecting basically. They're disconnecting this ecosystem, making it decentralized. So you have something called NFT mirroring, where they will mint basically NFTs, and as you buy those NFTs, you can redeem them for real in-game items in games that have millions of players out there. And this will probably be the first project to deploy on Reef chain. And obviously through them, our users will have NFT basket, and you can get exposure to NFTs which are quite liquid, I would say, because the current NFT market is not. Next is improved UI UX. We are always focused on making everything simpler, making everything more user friendly. We have to improve the onboarding process and so on. So here is a video. It's a guide of how you can interact with the baskets, how you can get into it, and how they work. I will share this presentation afterwards, so you can follow those links. And next is the new landing page. So the new landing page has been done with Grifflan. They're an award-winning agency. In my opinion, they're the best in the world at what they do. They have really cutting-edge animations. I call it mini Reef meditation when you come to the website. We are working with them on the new blog as well as the DeFi Academy. So this will be pretty much world class UI UX. And lastly, we've open sourced our code base. We have some more repositories that will be open sourced in the upcoming weeks. We already have, actually, it's already 6 external contributors. People already started opening pull requests. Everyone wants to own a portion, basically a module in our ecosystem. So that's extremely exciting. And besides this, we are onboarding soon big advisors from the Polkadot ecosystem, or the biggest, basically the most reputable people. So this is obviously extremely good news, because they will help us and guide us through the initial bootstrapping process, through Mainnet, and as well as the auction. So I would like to navigate to some of these links. I will start with the landing page. As you can see, this is the new landing page. We've heard your feedback. We've heard your feedback. Let me see if I can. If this is visible. It's not. There you go. Yes. So this is Grifflan. Everyone should really open this webpage to see this art that they've created. It's extremely exciting. We worked for 3 months basically with our designers. There are some more updates that are coming here. So it now officially has the Reef chain. It has links to the documentation. You can read more about the staking. You can read more about the liquidity bridge, and you can follow all the guides and how to become part of it. Next is the documentation. So it's structured. It's a very clean. So you have the developer guide, you have the governance mechanisms, you have FAQ. Obviously, this is all work in progress. It will be expanded even further. Every module expanded. How to learn Solidity, how to onboard, how to become a Reef developer if you come from the Python ecosystem, how to become a developer if you are coming from the JavaScript and so on. So it's really exciting. It's the initial version, but a lot more things are coming soon. And last but not least is the Block Explorer. We're working on redesigning this. As you can see, some people already started sending some transfers. We can send some free tokens for people to play with. This you can see like all the extrinsics that are running here, the events. You can see the accounts. You can connect to the testnet yourself. You can play with it. We can send you some test balance. And this Block Explorer is obviously the testnet will eventually be restarted when other things are launched. What happens is we are really pushing hard to achieve Mainnet. Guess what? In Q2, we are really pushing hard to achieve this, and I hope it happens. And if this happens, we will be the first substrate chain to go live on Mainnet. If this happens, it will be an extremely big achievement. So yeah, as you can see, this is the first version of the Reef scan Block Explorer. It still has all of those technical stuff, like it's not very user friendly at this moment, but we are working to hide all of those complexities away and make it very usable, where people can just come and they can browse different stuff, and it would actually be fun, but they don't have to see just some system level functions and technical words that they don't understand. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover here. We are ready for Q2. We are onboarding some more people in our team. Some people that came basically from the community. So we're expanding the careers page. I believe it's live. If not, it will be live in the next few days. So you can see the open roles that we currently need. If you have some of those skill sets, we'll be happy to talk to you and get you on board. So now I would like to jump to the questions. Let me see. Will the testnet have any active and usable applications, or will it be a sandbox entirely? That's a great question. It will have usable applications. We are working to deploy some financial primitives, and people can interact with them. Will be a faucet is coming, so everyone can claim free testnet tokens, so they can play around with those applications. It's definitely not sandbox. We're deploying Remix and some other tools, so not just us, but other projects can also deploy their applications. And we even have program where the most used testnet applications will be rewarded. More details of this is coming soon. In which month will the token burn be done? As we mentioned, we are moving. We are going to participate in the auctions. We want to plug into the Polkadot network, and after that, we will have more details about the token burn. But yes. Where do you see Reef in 5 years from now with regards to new products and big partnerships? I see Reef, the main DeFi hub, that connects to other DeFi hubs as well. But due to how we are positioned in terms of not just innovation, but also basically backwards compatibility and make sure that whatever is out there still works, I believe we are positioned for by far getting the most adoption of all the competitors out there. So I believe we'll attract a lot of people. We'll achieve full decentralization, have all the big projects building on top of Reef, and grow our user base, and hopefully we'll have 100x more bigger community than now. Will there be a mainnet after the testnet? Of course, as I mentioned, we are trying to get mainnet in Q2. With this, we would basically be the first substrate chain that would go mainnet. It's extremely exciting, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but I believe we have extremely strong team now. With the high-profile advisors, we will be able to achieve this. Will there be incentives for the testnet? More details on this are coming. I mentioned some of the projects which are deploying stuff on Reef, and those projects. Let's say it's like a DEX or something. Based on some KPIs, how many transactions it has, how many users are interacting with this, there will be some rewards. Yeah, so we'll have Reef 20. So the next question is Reef chain testnet V1 launch, use protocol ERC20, BEP20, or HAP protocol itself. So basically, we'll have bridges, so people can swap the Reef token between ERC20, BEP20, and Reef 20. So in any case, we'll have our own protocol, but obviously being compatible is a number one priority. Could we see Reef on Coinbase in the near future? I hope so. I cannot talk much about those things because Coinbase is its own entity, and they are following our progress closely. So yeah. Let me see the next question. Assuming since Reef chain is an EVM compatible chain, does it mean that Ethereum dApps can easily migrate? Correct. Ethereum dApps can easily migrate. We have migration incentive programs as well. Obviously, our biggest goal is getting the biggest players on board. Biggest players, everyone knows them. Get lending protocols and money markets and so on. Yes, we've already started talking to the biggest dApps out there. They're extremely excited because they will basically own a part of the network because they can become validators. Yes, in the next few months, that's what I will be doing, talking to all the important projects and planning out for mainnet and for the big launch. Yes, staking will be live when we are going mainnet. Staking is actually a very important aspect of the tokenomics as well as the governance, so definitely. How would the Reef chain differ from Ethereum itself? I already talked about this in the presentation. You can go through the documentation. The first 6 points are one of the biggest differentiating factors. But the important thing is that Reef chain is not just EVM. It's way more than that. We are just starting with EVM, and then we are extending it to native, written in Rust runtime modules and so on. So it's basically Ethereum, which can actually have a very rapid innovation. When can we expect algorithm suggestions for risk-based? You can already check the first basket, the DeFi basket in our. I believe it's already deployed right now, so you can go and play with it. It's the most basic DeFi basket. We want to start, from the safest possible, financial primitives, and then ramp up to more aggressive. So you can already play with it. Documentation, yes. Thanks, Ross, for answering. Correct. Since Reef chain is CVM compatible, Ethereum apps can and will easily migrate. Has there been any project in the roadmap that has been delayed? No, actually, we've the only things that were not achieved were tied to other projects, such as Polkadot and Kusama. We thought that we would be able to participate in the auction this quarter, but obviously, it's still not ready yet. So yeah, we've moved it to Q2. But all the other things were basically fully achieved. How possible would it be exactly? So this is a great question. How possible would it be to build a centralized exchange-like experience with order books and limit orders in Reef chain? This is where the EVM extensions come into play. As we all know, it's extremely hard to build order book-based DEX in Solidity, but we can build it in Rust. And what we can do is we can expose this module into the EVM, so people can write Solidity code and interact with DEX, which basically has order books. So it's a extremely exciting thing because it opens a whole new world for Solidity developers. Basically, it's something that so far it was impossible to achieve. Are there any plans to expand the Reef chain past adding some new? Yes, correct. There are plans to expand the chain beyond just EVM, more modules. We actually have already one native module coming very soon. Okay, so thanks for the questions. Thanks for joining, everyone. I will share this presentation. You'll be able to get a docsend link in the Telegram community. Feel free to go through all the new things that we released. So basically the new landing page, the documentation, the basket that's out there, and feel free to suggest, go on our GitHub, take a look at what we've done. If you are a developer, feel free to contribute, and stay tuned for more contents which are now involving our products. So it's not just stickers, but it has to do with engaging with our products and becoming a member of the Reef community from the very beginning. Thanks everyone again. I'm going back to work now and get ready for Q2. Bye-bye.